Hey everyone, so today we're going to be making Mira, as you can see here. So we've got her long hair, two little side parts of the hair, her fringe, and then also she has her skirt, that grey little chain that goes across, and a little bit of a design that we put together for this mini crochet amigurumi plush. So I hope you guys all enjoy this, and let's get started. You're going to need a 1.9mm hook, or at least that's what I use to produce a 8 to 10 centimeter little plushie keychain here, as you can see. But feel free to use anywhere between a 1.75 and a 3mm hook for 4-ply cotton yarn. And of course, if you have your own yarn and hook that corresponds to that yarn, feel free to use that as well, because this pattern should be universal. You'll also need a pair of cutters, a leather needle. As you can see here, leather needles are fantastic for working through those stitches because of that small and sharp point at the end here, but this sort of triangle kind of allows it to glide through those stitches, which is fantastic. You'll also need some 6 or 7mm black safety eyes. Optional are pins. This just helps keep little things in place like the hair and perhaps the little chain as well on the side. And then finally, you will need some fiber filling, as you can see here, and this fills up our little plush. So let's start off with using black colored yarn, as you can see here, and we're going to work a magic ring. And if you don't know how to make a magic ring, go check out my crochet beginner tutorial playlist, and you'll be able to have a look at those techniques, master them, and then come back and complete any one of my tutorials that I have on this YouTube channel. You're going to start by working 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. And just to let you know, I use the technique yarn under, or YU, and then yarn over, or YO. So yarn under, yarn over is what I have. So the yarn comes underneath the hook first, and then the yarn comes over, just like that. And feel free to use yarn under as well, but I wouldn't recommend yarn over for amigurumi plushies, although if that's what you're used to, feel free to do that as well. And I've linked a little video over here that tells you the differences between all of those. Okay, so this is the 4th single crochet stitch. Here's number 5, and finally number 6. And then we are going to pull the yarn tail of the magic ring in order to close it. And from here you can either start crocheting in a spiral and use a stitch marker to help you keep track of those stitches, or do what I'm going to do. Since this is a beginner crochet tutorial, we're going to finish off each round with a slip stitch and a chain 1. So you want to insert your hook into the very first stitch space of the round, and then make a slip stitch and chain 1, just like that. And there we go, we finished round number 1. For round number 2, we're going to do the following. You're going to make increases in every stitch space. And an increase just means you're working 2 single crochet stitches in every stitch space. So let's do it again. Here is the first single crochet stitch, and then in that same stitch space you work a second single crochet stitch, and that there is your increase. So now we've worked 2 increases. Complete another 4 increases. That's 6 increases in total, giving you 12 stitches at the end of round number 2. For round number 3, we're going to do the following. So you're going to start off with working a single crochet stitch, just like that, and then in the next stitch space you're going to work an increase, 1 and 2, just like that. So let's do it again. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, 1, same stitch space, 2 single crochet stitches to complete that increase right there. And you're going to complete that another 4 times. You will have 18 stitches at the end of round number 3. And here we're up to the last stitch in round number 3. So what you're going to do here is grab your flesh pink colored yarn, and then once you have your flesh pink colored yarn, you're going to pull it through the 18th stitch, or that last stitch in round number 3, and then come to the very first stitch and have the black and flesh pink yarn colors over the top of the hook, and finish off with a slip stitch and chain 1, just like that. And now we're up to round number 4. Now for round number 4, we are going to be changing yarn colors from flesh pink to black all the way around. So start off by making or working 5 single crochet stitches in flesh pink. So here is the 3rd, here's the 4th, and here's the 5th. But before we complete that 5th single crochet stitch, you're going to grab your black colored yarn and work that through. So now you have 5 single crochet stitches in flesh pink. From here, we are going to work a spike bubble stitch. So we're not coming into this stitch space right here. Instead, we're coming further below right here. This is 1 round below. I hope you can see this a little bit easier. Let me try and move the light. So here is where you're going to enter that hook. And before you do that, you're going to wrap the yarn as well. Enter the hook in that space, pull up the yarn, and pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and this will leave you with 2 loops on the hook. Repeat that another 2 times. So come in that same space, pull up the yarn, once you've wrapped it of course, and then pull that yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and that gives you 3 loops left over. And then one more time, wrap the yarn, come in the same space, pull up the yarn, and pull through 2. You now have 4 loops on the hook just like that, and you're going to change your yarn color back to flesh pink, and then pull that flesh pink all through those 4 loops which were on the hook. And from here we're going to continue with 5 single crochet stitches in flesh pink, but for the first one have the black yarn tail over the top of the hook just to secure that bubble stitch. So there's our first spike bubble stitch right here. So that's 1, here's the second, 2, 3, 4, and here's number 5. And before we complete this 5th one, we're going to change our yarn color to black, just like that. And from here we're going to complete a second spike bubble stitch. So we don't come here, we come 1 round below right here. Pull up the yarn and pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook. Wrap the yarn again, come in that same stitch space, pull up and pull through 2. One more time, wrap the yarn, pull up the yarn, and pull that yarn through 2 loops on the hook. And from here you're going to grab that flesh pink colored yarn, and then you're going to pull it through all 4 loops on the hook just like that. Now from here you have 6 single crochet stitches left, and you're going to have that black yarn tail over the top of the hook for at least 1 or 2 single crochet stitches in flesh pink. So here's our second single crochet stitch in flesh pink. We'll complete another 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. And then you'll finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. For rounds 5 and 6, it's fairly simple. You'll just be making 18 single crochet stitches in your flesh pink colored yarn. So 18 single crochet stitches in flesh pink for the next 2 rounds, rounds 5 and round 6. For round number 7, you are going to be working in just the back loops only. So here you can see you've got a front loop and a back loop, and we're just inserting our hook into the back loop. And so for this round 7, you'll just have back loop only 18 single crochet stitches. So I'll let you guys work on that. Back loops only 18 single crochet stitches for round number 7. And for round number 8, you're just going to be working 18 single crochet stitches all the way around to finish round number 8. So I'll let you guys do that, a fairly simple round. And then at the end of this round, we're going to be changing the yarn color to black. So we will do that together. And here we are on the 18th or last stitch of round number 8. Just before completing that, you're going to change your yarn color to black. So grab your black colored yarn, pull that through, pull the flesh pink yarn so that it's a little bit tight. And then from here, have the flesh pink and black colored yarn over the top of the hook as you complete your slip stitch and chain 1. And of course, if you're crocheting in a spiral, feel free to continue in a spiral as well. And then for round number 9, you'll just make 18 single crochet stitches in black, and that is it. So we'll come back together at the end of round number 9. For round number 10, this is what we're going to be doing. We'll start off with 4 single crochet stitches in black. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And before we finish that 4th single crochet stitch, we'll change our yarn color to flesh pink, just like that. And then from here, we're going to complete another spike bubble stitch. So remember, we're not coming into this stitch space. Instead, we're coming 1 round below right here, and we wrap the yarn first. Come into this stitch space, have those yarn tails on top of the hook, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. Then repeat another 2 times, pull up, pull through 2, wrap the yarn, pull up and pull through 2. You have 4 loops on the hook now, and you're going to change your yarn color back to black. Pull through all 4 loops on the hook, and you've completed your first arm. Come into the next stitch space and have the flesh pink over the top of the yarn to secure that bubble stitch in place. And there you go, you've got 1 single crochet stitch in black. You're actually going to complete 7 single crochet stitches in black. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's the 7th. And before you complete that 7th one, change your yarn color back to flesh pink. And then from here, complete another spike bubble stitch. So you're not coming here, you're coming down here, you're wrapping the yarn. Pull that yarn up, pull through 2. Wrap the yarn, pull the yarn up, pull through 2. Wrap the yarn, pull the yarn up, and pull through 2. 4 loops on the hook, change your yarn color back to black. Come into the next stitch space, have the flesh pink colored yarn over the top of the hook, complete a single crochet stitch like that. And then you will complete an additional 4 single crochet stitches. That's 5 in total with the color black. And at the end of this one, we are then going to make a slip stitch and chain 1. For round number 11, we're going to do the following. You'll start off with a single crochet stitch first, and then you will complete something called an invisible decrease. And this is how it works. You want your hook to come through the front loop of the next stitch, and then directly into the front loop of the very next stitch as well. So you've got 2 front loops on the hook there, plus your original loop. Pull the yarn through those 2 front loops. You'll have 2 loops on the hook, and then pull the yarn through those 2 loops on the hook. And what that does is creates an invisible decrease, moving these 2 stitches below into now 1. And I want you to repeat that pattern all the way for this round. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Just like that. And one more time, I'll show you. Single crochet stitch first, followed by invisible decrease, front loop, pull the yarn through, pull the yarn through. So now I want you to complete that another 3 times to finish round number 11. And here for round number 11, we're going to complete this last decrease, invisible decrease, pull the yarn through those 2 front loops, and then change the yarn color to flesh pink to finish this off. Just like that. Then you're going to come into the first stitch space, have the black yarn over the top of the hook, and make a single crochet, a slip stitch, and a chain 1. Now from here, in this next round, you're going to be working in the back loops only for the entire round, and you'll start off with a single crochet stitch first, followed by a back loop increase, 1 and 2. Just like that. So I'll show you once more. Back loop, single crochet stitch first, followed by back loop increase, 1, 2. And you can also cut the black colored yarn because you no longer need this. And continue around for the entire round. You will have 18 stitches at the end of this round. For round number 13, you're going to do the following. You'll start off with 2 single crochet stitches, followed by an increase, 1 and 2. So again, 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2, followed by an increase, 1 and 2, just like that. Okay, and I want you to complete this entire round using the same pattern, 2 single crochet stitches and an increase. You will have 24 stitches after round number 13. And there we go, that's the end of round number 13 there. So for round number 14, 15, 16, and 17, that's 4 rounds, you'll be working 24 single crochet stitches. So once again, 24 single crochet stitches for 4 rounds, rounds 14, 15, 16, and 17. And we'll come back at the end of round number 17 to start round 18 together. And we've just finished those 4 rounds, as you can see here. We're now up to round number 18, where we're doing the following. You will make 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2, followed by an invisible decrease. And remember, that means the front loop, where your hook enters into, pull the yarn through, and pull the yarn through. Let's do it again. So 2 single crochet stitches first, followed by an invisible decrease, front loop, yarn through, yarn through. Complete that another 4 times to finish round number 18. Okay, so we finished round number 18. If you want to add your eyes, just fast forward ahead and you'll see me do that plus adding the fiber filling. But I'm going to complete round number 19 first before I do that. And I do this by making the following. So I work one single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. And then I'm just going to repeat that pattern a total of 6 times. So that's single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease, just like that. And at the end of this round, you'll have 12 stitches in the round. And there we go, we finished number 19. So all you want to do is pull the yarn just as if you were to chain one and pull it out. And we pull it out so that it doesn't unravel as you're adding the eyes and the fiber filling. And as you can see here, we've inserted the eyes between rounds 15 and 16. So this is round 15 and this is round 16. The eyes are between those two rounds, and there's about 2 stitch spaces between the eyes that are visible, as you can see right there. So guys, don't forget to add those eyes and make sure they're kind of in between the arms and aligned with the legs as best as possible. Add the back portion of the eyes there, just so it is secure in place. And from here, you're going to add the fiber filling. So grab your fiber filling in small layers and then insert it into the body / head, and then use a pair of cutters to condense / compress it inside. Just like that. And you're going to keep doing that layer by layer to help with the even distribution of the fiber filling as you fill up your plushie. So guys, I want you to keep doing that until you reach the very top of the head. And there you go, so we've just filled all of that up. And now we're up to our last round. This is round number 20. And in round number 20, we're just going to be working invisible decreases all the way around. So we will have 6 invisible decreases in total if you worked by finishing each round with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now, if you crocheted in a spiral, you'll want to only complete 5 invisible decreases. So here's my 4th invisible decrease. Here's my 5th. And this is where you'll stop if you completed your rounds in a spiral. And in the next one, you'll complete a slip stitch to finish that off. But for the rest of us, we're going to complete 6 invisible decreases and then finish off with a slip stitch in the first stitch of the round, followed by pulling the yarn through and cutting the yarn, leaving about 10 to 15 centimeters, probably 15, just so you've got a little bit more yarn to work with. And there we go. So that is almost finished the body right there. All of the crocheting is done. Now let's weave in this to close the top. So grab your yarn needle just like this, and what you're going to do is insert your needle into the front loops of each of the remaining stitches in this last round. So if you crocheted like me, you will have 6 front loops to go through, but if you crocheted in a spiral, you will have 7 total front loops to go through. So there's my 4th, 5th, and here's my 6th right here. And at the end of this, you're going to pull the yarn so you can close the top of that. Any bumps that you see, kind of push them into the center. From here, insert your needle into the center and come out anywhere in the head where there is flesh pink colored yarn. Pull it to close that gap even more. And again, any bumps that you see, kind of push them into the center. From here, you can see that each stitch has this kind of X shape with one diagonal across the other, which is underneath. We're going to follow the lining of the diagonal that goes across like here. So I'm going to enter my yarn needle there. And then I'm going to pull this until it seamlessly kind of matches that point. And I'm just going to keep doing this maybe 3/4 times in total. Maybe even up to 5 or 6 if you really want to secure this in place. I'll do maybe one more after this one. Down here, then I'll come out here, anywhere, it doesn't matter. And then cut the excess yarn and push any excess yarn into the head to hide. And there we go, we have just completed the body. Turn your plush body upside down and insert your hook into the back one of these front loops. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull the yellow yarn through that front loop where your hook has inserted into. So pull it through just like that, and then chain 1. Now from here you're going to work a single crochet stitch inside that front loop, and then every other front loop you're also going to work a single crochet stitch, so you'll have 18 in total. So keep working all the way around. Weave in this yarn tail as you go for at least maybe 4 or 5 single crochet stitches. And you can see how I'm doing that by having the yarn tail over the hook just to weave it in there. Once you've finished the weaving, you can move it to the side and eventually cut it as well. Now continue these 18 single crochet stitches and then finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. Finish the first round of the skirt. We can cut this now, kind of at any point. I might do it later. And then for the second round, you're going to do the following. You'll start off with 2 single crochet stitches first, 1 and 2, followed by an increase, 1 and 2, just like that. And you're just going to repeat that all the way around. So single crochet stitch first, another single crochet stitch, followed by an increase, 1 and 2, just like that. So continue that all the way around and finish with your slip stitch. So I've just finished there with a slip stitch into the first stitch of round number 2. Pull the yarn through, leave yourselves about a 7 centimeter yarn tail. It doesn't really matter because we will be weaving this. We can cut this one because this one has already been woven into the skirt, so just cut that just like that. And then with this yarn tail, we can work it into some of these back stitches. So here's my needle working in the inner portion of the skirt, as you can see here. Remember, this is the inner portion of the skirt, not the outside. Just like that. Weave the yarn tail into the end of the needle and then pull through. And there we go. So we've pulled that through, and then you can chop the excess and push the skirt back down just like that, and there you go. So that is the completion of the skirt. Alright, so now we're going to start the hair, and how we do this is you'll start off with making a magic ring. So make yourselves a magic ring just like that. And then from here, we're going to work 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's number 6, as you can see here. Pull the yarn tail to close that magic ring, and we are this time going to finish with a slip stitch and chain 1 at the end of each round. So this is even advanced crochets as well. Just finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now for round number 2, you're going to make increases. We've done this before. Increases in every stitch space. At the end of round 2, you will have 12 stitches in the round. And for round 3, you're going to have a single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, 1 and 2. So just repeat again, single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase. Repeat that total 6 times. You will have 18 stitches at the end of round number 3, and this time only finish with the slip stitch. Do not chain 1. From here, we are going to start the hair strands. So for the first hair strand, you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to complete slip stitches all the way to the end, starting in the second loop from the hook. So we've just done that slip stitch there. We have another 4 to go. So there's 1, 2, 3, and here's the 4th one right here. Just like that. Come into the next stitch space of round number 3 and make a slip stitch. From here, we're going to create the second hair strand, which is chaining 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then from here, start in the second loop from the hook, slip stitch, and continue with slip stitches all the way down until you finish this second hair strand. So again, slip stitches all the way down there should be a total of 6 slip stitches, and then you'll come into the next stitch space of round number 3 and make a slip stitch. There we go, 2 hair strands are now complete. From here, let us make our third hair strand. So you're going to chain 10 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, followed by single crochet stitches down the rest of the hair strand. So there's our first single crochet stitch. There should be 8 single crochet stitches in total. So there's 2, here's 3, 4, 5, 6, oopsie, 7, and finally number 8. And then slip stitch in the next stitch space of round number 3. And then I just want you to repeat this hair strand. So chain 10, slip stitch, 8 single crochet stitches. And from here in our 5th hair strand, we're just going to mirror this second hair strand. So we're going to chain 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just complete slip stitches all the way down, of which there will be 6 in total. And then make a slip stitch in the next stitch space of round number 3. And then from here, you will do exactly what you did on your first hair strand. Chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, followed by slip stitch in the second loop from the hook and an additional 4 slip stitches to finish off this hair strand. Just like this. One more slip stitch to finish this off. And then slip stitch in the next stitch space of round number 3. Now, these 6 hair strands are actually going to be pulled backwards. Okay, so you can see how this is pulled backwards here. That's exactly what we're going to do later on, so just be aware of that. For the next hair strand, you'll chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch in the second loop from the hook as normal, followed by 4 single crochet stitches, not slip stitches this time. These are single crochet stitches. And from here on out, you'll only complete a slip stitch in the second loop from the hook once you've chained. There we go. And then from here, we're going to chain 7. And actually for the next 2 hair strands, they will be identical. You chain 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'll have a slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, followed by 5 single crochet stitches. And I want you to complete this for the next hair strand as well. So again, chain 7, slip stitch, 5 single crochet stitches. For the next 6 hair strands, you're actually going to be crocheting or chaining 17. So we've just done 2 there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So as you can see, this is quite long, but this is what we want to do for the next 6 hair strands, including this one. You'll start off with a slip stitch, followed by 15 single crochet stitches. So I'm going to let you guys complete these 6 hair strands now, and then we'll come back at the end of the 6th hair strand of the chain 17. Okay, so we've just completed those 6 strands of chain 17, as you can see here. We have another 3 to go. So slip stitch in the next stitch space of round number 3. And from here, we're going to make 2 strands of chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, followed by an additional 5 single crochet stitches. So remember, you're doing this for not only this hair strand, but the next hair strand as well. So we'll come back after the completion of these 2 hair strands. And there we go, we've just completed those 2 hair strands, 1 and 2. And now for this last hair strand, you are chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, followed by a slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, and then an additional 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and here's the 4th. And from here, you're going to make a slip stitch in the very first stitch space of round number 3. Just like that. and then pull the yarn through to finish and leave yourselves about a good 40 to 50 centimeter yarn tail at the end there, because we will use this to sew the hair together. Okay, so there's the hair all finished. Okay, so for the top bangs, as you can see here, we're going to do the following. You'll start by making a slip knot, just like that, and then chain 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then in the second loop from the hook, you'll make a slip stitch, just like that, and then you're going to chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and pull the yarn through to finish. Then cut your yarn. You can leave roughly a 5 centimeter tail there. You'll probably have to cut that later on anyway, but that there is the top of the fringe. This will come in the center of the forehead, but I'll show you how to do that a bit later. For these hair pigtails, as you can see here, what you're going to do is the following. You'll leave a little bit of a yarn tail, so a good 10 or more, maybe 15 centimeters of a yarn tail. Make a slip knot, and then chain 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And then you'll just pull a little bit of a yarn tail, chop off here. We'll end up chopping this again, so just leave maybe like a 5 centimeter piece here. And I want you to make another 5 of these, 5 more, 6 in total. Okay, so we've completed that, and then we're going to take 3 of those strands and make something that looks a little bit like this. So I'll show you how to do that now. So you're going to grab your 3 strands of hair and line them up such that the long yarn tails are on one side and the short yarn tails are on the other side. And then from here, we're going to tie a knot, and you want to keep it at the base of the hair as much as possible. So I'm going to start tying together. So coming up. And just, you want to take your time with this as well. So there is one knot right there. Now I'm going to keep making knots, maybe 4 or 5 times in total, and keeping them all at the top here. So that's number 2. And this one's number 3, and maybe we'll make one more. There we go. So there is the final knot. We could even do one more if we wanted to. Just make them even as much as possible. And then what's going to happen is, see how these hair strands are kind of at the top, and this time they're at the base. So they're base here, and then if you turn this around, they're at the top. You'll actually have it such that you're pinning this down so that these hair strands come from the top down, if that makes sense. But I'll show you when we get to it. Anyways, those are the 2 kind of ponytails that we have there that are now complete. Okay, so from here, as you can see, I have pinned those hair strands to the head all the way around. I know it looks like we've got a big forehead here, but we are going to cover this up a little bit later. So we have those very first 6 hair strands pinned all the way back. And then you have these long hair strands pinned at the base here. If you left it pinned over here, this would all curl up. So we're going to pin it at the base. Alternatively, you could also straighten these parts and they'll end up being a lot more straight. Otherwise, pin them here and we'll sew them at the base of the hair as well. And then you've got the sides pinned as well. So what we're going to start doing is pinning each of these hair strands into the head one by one. So my yarn tail is here. I'm going to enter the hook over here. And then I'll come out and pull this pin out first and have the needle come through that same spot where the pin was, and this is why I like using pins. Of course, this is only optional to use pins, but I would highly recommend it. You'll have the needle coming through the side of the hair strand. Pull out the needle, pull up your yarn, and then come to the other side of that same hair strand and come work your needle into the same stitch space, and then you'll pull up the other pin and have the needle come through where that pin was placed, and then pull the yarn just like that. And we're just going to repeat that process all the way around. So needle through the side, pin out, needle through the other side in the same stitch space, pull up the next pin from the other hair strand, and have the needle work through that same stitch, and then pull to secure the second hair strand. And once more, I'll show you again. From the side, pin out, just like that. Other side, in the same stitch space. And I kind of moved it just a little bit across, which is okay. And then my other pin is down here, so this is where my needle is going to go, as you can see here. Pull that in place. Okay, and then where this pin is will come up the side of your hair strand. Take the pin out, and then come to the other side of that hair strand and in the same stitch space, and then take out the next pin, and so on and so forth. So that's what you guys are going to continue with all the way around, and we'll come back when we're ready to start these top ones. So I'm in this hair strand now, so I finished all the way around the side, done the back as well, and then I'm going to have this yarn tail kind of come at the top over here and kind of weave it through just like that. And then I'm going to bring it all the way down to the base of the hair and then come up a little bit across the side. This is going to help it kind of stick to the front of the forehead, if that makes sense. Have that here, and then also pull this into the same stitch. And then we're going to, one at a time, pull these pins out. Probably starting with this one over here. And then one at a time, we're just going to have these sewn to the top of the head as well. You can see here, we're coming inside the hair. We'll come through that stitch space, take out the pin, and just repeat that process one at a time until you've finished all 6 hair strands at the top there. Alright, so I'll let you guys complete that, and then we'll come back together at the end of these 6 hair strands at the top. And there we go, I'm in my last hair strand here. I'm going to take out these 2 pins at the top, pull this yarn tail through, and there we go. So all of that hair is now sewn to the top of the head, and I'll just kind of weave this back and forth across the edge of round 3 just to finish that off. So I'll have it come here, and this will be the last one, and then I will chop the yarn. By the way, if you feel like you need to sew the front a little bit more, feel free to do that as well. Okay, so we've done the first part of the hair, which is fantastic, and this is what we're looking like so far. As you can see here, all the way around. Fantastic. So here are the long bands, if you will. So this was the section where you made the slip stitch after chaining 17, slip stitch, chain 16. So we just pinned it to 3 sections of the forehead there, and we are going to sew that in place using some pink yarn. So I'm going to have the pink yarn going anywhere at this point, probably even in the head, just to make it a little bit easier. And then wherever the pin is, I'm going to pull it out slightly, follow it with my needle, and then from here I'm going to insert the needle through where the pin is, and then I can either come back in the same stitch or go over or come down in the next loop. Completely up to you how you want to do that there. I'll probably go in another loop and then continue on, and then I'll go to this side and do the exact same. So pull out this pin a little bit, have the needle come through there, just like that. Needle comes through the loop. Take out the pin. Come around. And then have it go through maybe one below or one above, depending on where it ends. And then take out your last pin and have the needle go through that. So there we go. There's the two front portions of the hair, and we're going to just place it through the chain at this top point and then come straight back in. Then have the yarn tail go anywhere at this point, it doesn't matter where. There we go, we've secured that in place. If you wanted to pin these further back, absolutely go for it. If you wanted to pin it anywhere else, and what I mean is sew it anywhere else, feel free to do that as well. And then we're going to have the needle come straight back into where we started, this same stitch space, so it comes through all the way there. And then with these two yarn tails, you are going to tie them in a double knot. One, oops. And then here's the second, a little bit tighter on the second one. Chop the yarn. And then push this into the head to hide it in place. Just like that. Now for the ends of these, we're going to chop them as well. And we'll do it on a little bit of an angle. So for the left braid will come at an angle from left diagonal down. And then for the right braid, we're going to come right diagonal down. And there we go. So we've got two braids there for the forehead, just like that. Okay, we have a little bit left to go for the hair. So this is the hair part 3. So as you can see, I've pinned the knot to the sides of the head in the same places on either side. And then you can see it's kind of coming up and then down. And that's how I want to pin it. I've got these 3 yarn tails that we're going to use. And the same with these 3 over the other side, and then these hair strands kind of come up and down, as you can see here. Now we're going to use these hair strands. You only really need to use one to sew this in place, and then with the other 2 you can come out in the same position in the same stitch, like anywhere in the face, and then tie them in a double knot and hide it. So that's what I'm going to get you to do. So sew these in place using one of these hair strands, not hair strands, sorry, these yarn tails, and then do the same for the other side. So I've sewn this one in place, as you can see here. I'm going to do the same for the other side, and I'll do it with you just so you can see how it's done. So I'll come in through a few of these kind of little spaces that I can work through. And I'll come up here. And then I'll work kind of underneath. And then back in that same spot, and then further up to the front. Pulling that through. And then again, up through here. And down. And then I'll have it come out somewhere in the face. I'll take out these pins, and I'm going to work it so that with those 3 hair strands, not hair strands, those yarn tails, you'll have 2 coming out in each stitch space. So I've only got one here and one here, so I'll have another, I've only got 2 more yarn tails here that I need to weave through, so I'll have one come here in this space and one in this space. Okay, so I've got these yarn tails now kind of matching up 2, 2, and 2 over here. And for each one, all you will do is just tie in a double knot and tie them a little bit harder on that second knot. And then chop the yarn and push inside the face to hide. So you'll do that with all of these yarn tails here. And that is now complete. You've got the 2 braids at the front, you've got the braids on the sides, and now just with these yarn tails down here, you're going to chop them again one at a time at an angle just after the knot. and you kind of want to do that on an angle as well. So we're coming from the right diagonal down this side, and then we'll come from the left diagonal down on this side. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so done that, which is fantastic. And now from here, we just have to do a little bit of embroidery to finish this off. So cut yourselves a maybe like 30 centimeters worth of lavender and some baby blue colored yarn, and then pull apart 2 strands of your 4-ply cotton yarn. So I'll let you guys do that now. And sometimes it might be easier just to pull 1 strand at a time. And then put those 2 strands together and weave it through a needle. And we're just going to embroider 3 triangles. So we'll have come at the base of the black where the black and the flesh pink meet. Come at the base of that. Pull your yarn up and then come to the midpoint section, which is up here, and then to the side, again at the base. You're kind of making these triangles. So there's 1. You'll come back up here and do the exact same for the other side. So there's 1. Come up to the point at the top here, and then to the base again to make this second triangle. 1, 2, and then from here, you'll come across here to make this final triangle in the center. So we're going to work it all the way up to the top midpoint, and then we'll come out right here. So again, there's no exact way of doing this. Just make 3 triangles, really is all you need to do. And then come out where you began, which is over here. Pull. So we've got 3 triangles there, and then tie these 2 in a double knot. 1 and 2. Then you'll just cut the yarn to finish and push this knot inside the body to hide. And we have one thing left to do, and this is not embroidery. So there are our triangles on the shirt. It's just giving a little bit of that color. We need to make the chain, so that is using light gray colored yarn. Grab some gray colored yarn, leave a little bit of a yarn tail, and then make a slip knot and chain 10. You may need to adjust this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If 10 is too much, feel free to reduce it. If it's not enough, feel free to add more chains. Okay, so I've left a bit of a yarn tail there as well, about 10 centimeters, because we'll use both of those yarn tails. And as you can see, I've pinned that chain in light gray to the side of the skirt. And now with these 2 yarn tails, we're just going to sew it in place. So I'll start off with this yarn tail, and I'm just going to weave inside this stitch space, one that's closest to where the pin is. Come and take out that pin, and then insert your needle into the top space or top loop, and then go straight back into this stitch space. And then you can come out anywhere in the body. So I'll come out down here, pulling that, and that's perfect. And I will do the exact same for this side and have it come out right here as well. So I've done the exact same thing to the opposite side, but I'm going to come down here as well just to secure this in place at the base. Just make sure everything is facing the right direction. Come here and then push it into this same loop, come in, and then come to this space right here. And that just kind of allows this to be kept in place without moving. And then with these 2 yarn tails, all you're going to do is tie them in a double knot, as you've seen us do a few times. When I say us, I just mean me. And then cut the yarn tail and push this inside the body to officially hide it inside the body. Okay, let's have a look at our finished product. So here is our Mira or Mira character. So you can see here I've got the lovely braids, ponytail parts of the hair. Nice. All of this is tied or sewn in place. We've got the bangs at the front. You've got the embroidery here. You've got the chain on the side with the skirt. So this is the finished touch. You can also add a little bit of a yarn chain or a keychain right in there or on the top of one of these hair strands if you'd like, just to finish this off and hang it on a bag or a purse or whatever it may be. But anyway, so that is the end of our Mira character, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and a comment. I will reply to all the comments. Guys, we make these tutorials for you, so any help is greatly appreciated. We have a donate link as well. Purchase a pattern as well on Etsy if you would like to as well, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.